Our coalition government was elected on a clear mandate to get our country and Auckland back on track. The last 6 years of Labour have been tough for the city. Many promises have been made by the previous government, but their failure to actually deliver meaningful change has left Auckland worse off. Whilst the State of the City report includes some notable achievements in the space of work-life balance, economic sustainability and student appeal, it also contains some sobering reading about the severe challenges facing our communities. Whether it's crime, health outcomes, traffic congestion, and attracting innovation and investment, Auckland has been going backwards and needs to get back on track. Our plan for Auckland is focused on the issues which matter most to Aucklanders. We want to lower the cost of living, restore law and order, and focus investment on growing Auckland's economy to increase productivity, particularly through investments in transport. To deliver this, we need to work together with Auckland key stakeholders so that we can make the most of Auckland and for New Zealand. We know that when Auckland succeeds, New Zealand succeeds. And the task ahead of us is not small, it's monumental, but we're determined. Under the leadership of Christopher Luxon, our Prime Minister, our government has moved at pace with our 100-day plan. We're making great progress to deliver cost of living relief, return fiscal discipline and common sense back into the public service, and refocus government on addressing the issues that really matter to New Zealanders. Today I want to touch on those three key issues: cost of living, crime, and transport. Firstly, cost of living. I want to touch on this issue because it is really the number one issue facing our city, businesses, families, communities across our city. The Coalition Government is committed to delivering tax relief for New Zealanders. We're progressing work to deliver meaningful income tax reduction in this year's budget, relieving some of the financial pressure facing families and businesses by allowing them to keep more of what they earn. For Auckland, as you know, as you would have seen yesterday, the Prime Minister announced that we're axing the Auckland Regional Fuel Tax on the 30th of June this year. This is about reducing the cost of living and also utilising the remaining funds for the priority projects and cancelling the projects which are of lower priority, such as overinvestment in speed bumps and cycling and bus lanes, which that funding has been utilised for. Aucklanders have been paying an extra 11.5 cents per litre on fuel since the previous government introduced the tax in 2018, but many Aucklanders are asking what have they actually received for it. We've also acted to fight inflation by restoring the Reserve Bank's single focus on price stability, reducing the regulatory burden on businesses that can drive cost increases, and by restoring discipline to government spending. Finance Minister Nicola Willis delivered a mini-budget in December last year that set the foundations of how our government is drawing a line under 6 years of economic mismanagement and beginning to spend public money more carefully and with a clearer purpose. It set out immediate government decisions delivering $7.4 billion of operating savings and additional revenue over the forecast period, reductions to potential fiscal risks and work to drive future savings, revenue and reprioritisation. We know Kiwis are doing it tough as inflation and higher average tax rates erode household incomes, and we're determined to bring inflation down and let people keep more of what they earn. On the wider economy, Auckland is home to 34% of our population, but delivers 38% of our GDP. It is our most culturally and economically diverse city, playing a pivotal role in New Zealand's economic success. The State of the City report rightly highlights that Auckland needs to have strong outreach and visibility in international markets. Trade Minister Todd McClay has made important first steps in advancing key relationships with Singapore, our most significant trading partner in Southeast Asia, and critical hub for New Zealand supply chains, as well as India, which is a strategic priority for the coalition government. New Zealand has also moved closer to ratifying the New Zealand-European Union Free Trade Agreement, with the first reading to bring this agreement into force taking place in Parliament last week. This free trade agreement will see an immediate $100 million in annual tariff savings upon entry into force, as well as an annual boost to GDP of up to $1.4 billion and an increase of exports to the EU by up to $1.8 billion. We are going to be an outwardly looking government, renewing relationships with our existing partners and friends, and building new relationships to help grow our economy. This is all critical to the growth and success of Auckland and to New Zealand. Secondly, the State of the City report particularly acknowledges safety as an area where Auckland is lagging. And I'll acknowledge Viv Beck for her advocacy in this space, showing that crime is a concern that needs to be addressed. Sadly, under the previous government's soft on crime policies, we've seen a 33% increase in violent crime. All too often, we see it on the news, on our streets, and in our communities. We've become numb to the statistics, and that has to change. Every New Zealander deserves to feel safe in their home, community, and workplace, and that starts with grappling the grip that gangs have on our city. In our first 100 days, my colleagues Mark Mitchell and Paul Goldsmith are making progress on dealing with gangs by introducing legislation to ban gang patches, stop gang members gathering in public, and stop known gang offenders from communicating with one another. We will give police more powers to search gang members for firearms, make gang membership an aggravating factor at sentencing, and we've already abolished the previous government's prison reduction target. We'll begin to work to crack down on serious youth offending, strengthening policing in our communities, and continue to back the frontline police. We're committed to giving our cops the tools and resources they need to get the job done. Addressing the long-term causes of crime is a big task, but our government is determined to put public safety back at the heart of the criminal justice system to restore confidence and safety into our communities. That means ensuring there are real consequences for crime and keeping serious violent offenders from creating more victims. These changes will mean a safer and more prosperous Auckland and give confidence to our communities and our businesses. Thirdly, transport, and I'll spend a bit more time talking about transport, is pivotal in unlocking Auckland's economic potential and enhancing the quality of life for its residents. The city's economic prosperity relies heavily on a robust transport network that facilitates the easy, efficient, and safe movement of people and freight across the region. This system is the backbone of our urban environment, supporting daily activities and contributing significantly to Auckland's vibrancy and dynamism. However, recent findings have highlighted this is a critical area of concern. Connectivity, as detailed in the State of the City report, ranks as one of the lowest scoring domains, underscoring a pressing need for improvement. Unfortunately, this comes as no surprise. The previous government failed to start and complete one single major infrastructure project while in office. There was a lot of focus on projects like Auckland Light Rail, which did not deliver a single metre of track despite over $220 million spent on the project, and didn't even complete a final business case, while little focus was actually made on the projects that we actually need. Mill Road is a perfect example. This project has been started, rescoped, and cancelled in more ways than one can count. 2018 funding plans were allocated so that Auckland Transport could progress parts of the Mill Road corridor. It was then announced to be part of the 2020 NZ upgrade program. It was then rescoped in 2021 before eventually being cancelled and the funding diverted. This level of uncertainty for this project has meant that connectivity into Auckland for people and freight, particularly and resilience through South Auckland, has been compromised, while projects like Auckland Light Rail went nowhere and didn't actually make any benefit. As the Minister for Transport, I'm acutely aware of the importance of this issue. My focus is now on delivering the infrastructure that Auckland needs, allowing Aucklanders to get where they want to go quickly and safely. This commitment isn't just about improving travel times. It's about enriching the lives of Auckland's residents by improving our transport network to make it more accessible and reliable. While Labor talked big on transport, they delivered very little. The previous national government had a track record in delivery, and we want to bring that back to the heart of government. National delivered the Waterview Tunnel. We delivered the Victoria Park Tunnel. We electrified the Auckland rail network. We started and we're going to finish the City Rail Link. We're proud of our track record of delivering both roading and public transport infrastructure that Auckland needs. Acknowledging the essential role of transport in Auckland's ongoing development, our government will prioritise the delivery of key infrastructure projects aimed at alleviating congestion, boosting productivity, and building a transport network that is not only more reliable but also more resilient. These efforts aren't not just investments in roads and rail, they're investments in Auckland's future, ensuring that our city can continue to grow and thrive sustainably and unlock land for housing. By focusing on these critical areas, we're laying the groundwork for a transport system that meets the needs of Aucklanders today, while also anticipating the demands of tomorrow. And to make this happen, I'm currently writing a government policy statement, a draft government policy statement on transport, which you'll all be able to have your say on very soon, as part of our 100-day plan, which we focused on building and maintaining New Zealand's transport network. This government policy statement is not just a document, it's a blueprint for refocusing the New Zealand Transport Agency and by extension Auckland Transport on the basics, building and maintaining the roading network to support economic growth, reliable public transport, and delivering a safe network which makes efficient use of every single dollar spent. We're moving away from the previous government's untargeted approach to a targeted strategy that addresses the core needs of our transport network. The roads of national significance will be back on the agenda, underscoring our commitment to critical infrastructure that supports economic growth and regional development. Our directive to the transport agencies will be clear. We are reprioritising projects that deliver real value. We're prioritising projects that deliver real value to commuters and businesses alike, ensuring that our cities and regions are well connected and that our economy thrives. Our transport strategy encompasses a broad pipeline of work, focusing on both immediate improvements and long-term developments. Maintaining and fixing potholes are immediate priorities, as well as ensuring that our roads are safe and reliable. But our vision extends far beyond these basics. We are laying the groundwork for a future where transport infrastructure supports and enhances our way of life rather than detracts from it. I'll be shifting our focus for transport investment from a narrow 3-year short-term thinking to a more ambitious and aspirational 10-year framework. This will help give certainty and stability to our delivery partners, both in local government and in the construction sectors. Priority projects we've identified include Mill Road, East-West Link, North-Western Rapid Transit Network, and setting a vision for a 4-lane connection between Whangarei and Tauranga to unlock economic growth in the Upper North Island. The heart of our transport policy is the investment in infrastructure that meets today's needs and anticipates those of tomorrow. But to do this, we need to be open to alternative ways of funding and financing infrastructure. The government is looking at a holistic approach to the delivery of infrastructure projects, combining traditional and innovative funding and financing models to ensure sustainable and effective project delivery. We're a government that is open to road pricing, both tolling and time of use charging. We're committed to working with Auckland Council to deliver a time of use charging framework that will improve travel times and network efficiency in our city. Another critical enabler of delivering transport infrastructure is leveraging private sector involvement in project development. This promises to bring about a new era of efficiency and innovation in how we build and maintain our transport networks. The government will establish a national infrastructure agency to connect local and offshore investors to transport projects, including our new roads of national significance and major public transport infrastructure projects. Options for alternative funding and financing arrangements should be considered for all major new infrastructure projects. Infrastructure Minister Christopher Bishop is working hard alongside other ministers to get this key agency set up so we can work closely with our infrastructure delivery agencies, including the New Zealand Transport Agency. Work is also underway to fast-track consents, which have previously been a long-standing issue in delaying the delivery of projects. Fast-tracking consents is a significant step change which will provide certainty and confidence to the sector, enabling it to invest in the capacity and capabilities needed to deliver these infrastructure projects. This government's significant transport plan for Auckland builds on the success of the Northern Busway, with rapid transit busways planned for the northwest, east, and a connection between the airport and Botany. A strong majority of 93% of people who provided feedback to the New Zealand Transport Agency last year expressed their support for a rapid transit along State Highway 16 in the northwest. That is why this government is prioritising this project. A dedicated corridor for rapid transit on State Highway 16 will revolutionise public transport in the northwest, providing fast, reliable connections that support the region's growth. This government will be considering funding sources to deliver these major public transport investments, including build, own, operate, transfer schemes and value capture. Delivering this critical infrastructure for Auckland requires new ways of thinking and different delivery models to increase the speed of delivery. Our vision for public transport in Auckland is based on an integrated approach that will improve choices for Auckland commuters and enable them to travel more efficiently. This approach will incorporate the completion of the City Rail Link, started by the previous national government, with new world-class public transport bus corridors. Leveraging private sector involvement and utilising alternative funding and financing arrangements will be critical to the delivery of this vision. Alongside this, the concept of an additional harbour crossing has been a long topic of discussion, with the understanding that enhancing connections to Auckland's North Shore is crucial for the city's development. The government recognises the importance of this project for Auckland's future and is committed to supporting additional vehicle lanes to create a more robust harbour connection. The previous government's eye-watering $56 billion plan for a secondary harbour crossing was fraught with impracticalities, leading to more questions than solutions. In contrast, this government's focus on delivery will be on delivery and action. The draft indicative business case for the Waitemata Harbour Connections project developed by NZTA represents the most significant land transport proposals in New Zealand's history. As such, it demands a careful, measured approach to ensure its success. The last government's project was simply unachievable, and that is why in my communications with NZTA I've emphasised the importance of narrowing the approach of this project to be about enhancing the Northern Busway and the overall harbour resilience. However, consistent with our commitment to getting back to the basics, we've decided not to continue work on active mode options or the proposed light rail connections for this project. Auckland Council, through previous local councils, have built a well-utilised Northern Busway, and we intend to build on its success. Our focus remains on delivering practical achievable projects that benefit Aucklanders and contribute to the city's long-term connectivity. The coalition government agrees that exploring how central government partners with local government on infrastructure delivery, and that's why the government will be developing national, city and regional deals. There is already strong interest from local councils, infrastructure developers, business groups, even the Committee for Auckland on their potential. We need to make sure that city and regional deals are fit for purpose and deliver for our communities. They also need to build on the partnerships central government already has with councils, businesses and others. Already we've begun constructive conversations with a range of councils around what this may look like. We're working on putting together a framework on what city and regional deals will look like, which we will announce in coming months. We've committed here in Auckland to working with Auckland Council already. We see the partnership with Auckland as being really important, and that's why we've met on a number of occasions with Mayor Wayne Brown to ensure that we can work through some of the challenges facing our city. We've committed to working with Auckland Council to deliver time of use charging framework to improve travel times and network efficiency in our city, and we'll continue to work closely with the Mayor and Auckland Council on an integrated transport plan that delivers key infrastructure for Aucklanders over a long period of time. And we'll be reviewing a number of the fees and charges and other issues that the Mayor raises to ensure that we have a much better partnership on those issues that he has been raising as well. The government really wants to make sure that there is a mature relationship with Auckland which focuses on not just putting plans together, but actually making sure we have the delivery that we need. This government will be focused on delivery. We're committed to not just planning, but executing these plans to bring about real, positive change in Auckland and across New Zealand. The challenges we face are significant, but we are up for it. We're making the tough calls, prioritising where we need to, and putting the well-being of our communities first and focusing on long-term solutions to deliver economic growth and prosperity and productivity. In conclusion, the significance of Auckland to New Zealand's future cannot be overstated. As Minister for Auckland, I am fully committed to addressing the challenges we face in partnership with you, the business community, with Auckland Council, and with all Aucklanders. Together, we must and we can get Auckland back on track. Thank you very much.
For more content just like this and all the latest business and political news, head over to mbr.co.nz.